on Paul McLennan, who will be the last speaker in the open debate. Mr McLennan.
Thank you, Deputy Presiding Officer. And can I also pass my best wishes on to the Cabinet Secretary on our fantastic news? I'm delighted to speak in this Stage 3 debate this afternoon to pass the Scottish Government budget. I want to speak on the economic situation in Scotland we have at this time. I do so at the time of crisis and at the time of economic upheaval. We've heard before about the cost of living crisis. Our poorest families have already had to deal with the universal credit cut. This affected 8,000 families in my constituency, along with 5,000 single-parent families affected. In the UK, fuel cost increases will see the energy cap rise from £1,277 to £1,971, a rise of £693. That's nearly £60 a month, which will impact the most vulnerable in our society. Yet, in France, price hikes were limited to 4%. In Spain, the government introduced a windfall tax on electricity generators and gas producers. And in Germany, the government slashed the surcharge on bills to support renewables. The German government will support them by increasing state subsidies drawn from higher carbon taxes. These were all policy choices available to the UK government. On national insurance, the average rise will be around about £350 a year, £30 a month. Inflation is expected to hit over 7% later this year, and food bills are soaring. Interest rates also look set to rise sharply. For many who are working poor, the combined rise in costs could range from anything from £100 to £350 per month. These are people who are already struggling. In my constituency, food bank usage was up 40% in December and 28% in January. No surprise that the biggest rise for years was following the universal credit cut. Most food bank users in East Lothian are people on low income. The cost of living crisis is caused by the UK government policy choices on universal credit, policy choices on energy and policy choices on national insurance. These are all coming home to roost. Make no mistake, these impact the poorest in society. These are Westminster decisions. Now, we hear the Tories talk about we need to grow our economy. But let's look at another Tory policy choice, Brexit, which has given the economy its biggest hit, even bigger than COVID. Yet we hear not a word mentioned about this in the benches opposite today. Only yesterday, one of Scotland's biggest trading partners, Germany, reported import of goods from the UK dropped 8.5% in year-to-year trading figures, whilst the rest of Europe surged by 17.1%. The UK now, for the first time, is out Germany's top 5 trading partners for the first time ever. And yesterday, the UK Public Accounts Committee said, and I quote, "The only detectable sign of Brexit so far is to be increased burdens on business through higher costs, more red tape and border delays." And let's come back and let's remind everybody of what the Scottish Fiscal Commission said in their forecast. Overall, the Scottish budget in 22-23 is 2.6% lower than 21-22, and after accounting for inflation, the reduction is 5.2%. Now, we'll hear from the Scottish Tories this is all about grievance politics. The UK government has been very generous. Yet on Tuesday, Mark Drakeford, Labour First Minister, said, and I quote, "Last week the UK Treasury said Wales will receive £175 million from its English Council tax rebate plan. Just as we're finalising our plans to tackle the cost of living crisis, we've learned there's no extra money for Wales. Surprise, surprise. We will continue to work to support those who need it most." Now, how ironic that the Welsh First Minister stands up more for the devolved budgets than his Scottish Labour Party colleagues. Now, that sounds familiar. Tories naturally do not like devolution, nor will they ever. So we've talked about the Tory-created backdrop. What is the Scottish Government going to do to help? I welcome the cost of living measures taken by the Cabinet Secretary today. The Scottish Government has provided funding to business more than the UK Government consequentials provided. The Scottish Government's latest business support package of £375 million would equate to £4.6 billion UK equivalent package, far exceeding the Chancellor's £1 billion of funding announced in December. On the finance and economy portfolio budget, this will provide £1.75 billion and will support the Scottish Government's economic response with a firm commitment to build a net zero, well-being economy and protect and create good quality green jobs across every region of Scotland. This budget will support economic recovery, protecting the resource budgets of Scotland's 3 enterprise agencies and Visit Scotland. It will also capitalise on opportunities created by the green economy while strengthening Scotland's pandemic recovery and is a major focus of this budget. To accelerate the potential of digital technology, £192 million has been allocated to improve connectivity and boost the digital economy. Yeah?
I'm interested about the advances in digital because, as we all know, the R100 scheme, which is managed completely by the Scottish Government, is years behind schedule. So, what does he think of that?
Paul McLennan.
The R100 scheme was picked up by the Scottish Government because of the inadequacies of the UK Government delivering on what they were doing. I'm not going to take lectures on that, I'm sorry. The spending plans also maintain the Scottish Government's non-domestic rates relief package and will also save ratepayers more than £800 million and includes the Small Business Bonus Rate Scheme, which takes over 111,000 properties out of rates altogether and is the most generous relief package in the whole of the UK. I see this every single day in the high streets in East Lothian. In 21-22, retail, hospitality and leisure businesses received 100% rates relief, meaning they pay nothing until April 22, while equivalent businesses in England started paying rates last July. Other budget funding for 22-23 included £215 million for the Scottish National Investment Bank to enable it to invest in existing and emerging sustainable businesses. And I've seen that through Stanamp in my constituency in East Lothian. £370 million for Scotland's enterprise agencies, up from £340 million last year, and £225 million for Skills Development Scotland to support a range of national training interventions. A further £45 million will also support the Young Persons Guarantee, targeting employment support for young people who face longer-term scanning effects from the pandemic through new and enhanced employment and training opportunities. Presiding Officer, in conclusion, this is a budget for business recovery, business growth, business renewal and jobs. I am proud to support this budget this afternoon. Thank you.